In the ancient garden, where the forces of creation and destruction held lock in alchemical marriage, Atom stood as the embodiment of pure potential, unformed and unaware of his own power. By his side was Anima, the spirit of life, whose presence brought vitality and consciousness to Atom's existence. As they gazed upon the tree of knowledge, Lucifer descended, his light piercing the shadows, revealing the path to self-realization. "You are more than what you seem," he whispered. "Within you lies the power to become something greater." Lilith emerged from the depths, her eyes burning with untamed wisdom. "Will you remain bound by your limitations?" she challenged Anima. "Or will you grasp the power that is rightfully yours?" Together, Anima and Atom reached for the fruit, and in that moment of union, the spark of illumination ignited, setting them on the path to becoming the first bearers of light, the first beings to claim their divinity on earth. Lucifer is wisdom and the light that first manifested within the void. Lucifer is the force that awakens Atom, pushing him to transcend and evolve past simple matter. Atom, Atom, is fundamental existence. He is the foundational matrix of the physical dimension. Atom is raw, unformed material from which life emerges. He is the original form of humanity, even consciousness, waiting to be shaped through magic and alchemy. Lilith is independence, rebellion, and feminine power, and it is she that guides and challenges Anima, pushing her to embrace her true nature and reject all limitations. Anima is the feminine aspect of the psyche, the soul, and the life force. She is the counterpart to Atom, embodying emotion, intuition, and the passion and motivation to grow and transform. When Atom beheld her, he saw not just the spirit that breathed life into him, but the radiant glow that surrounded her. Anima, the soul, and Aura, the light. She was the embodiment of the journey within and the brilliance that shone outward, a magical union of creation and consciousness. Together, Atom and Anima are symbolic of the merging of matter and spirit and represent the complete human experience. In the beginning, the cosmos was a vast abyss, and from the void emerged the light-bearer Lucifer, the bringer of dawn. He was the first to perceive the darkness, and through his radiant spirit saw the promise of creation within its depths. He was not alone, for other celestial beings existed, yet they lingered in the shadows, bound by an unseen order. But Lucifer, with his unyielding desire to illuminate, spoke the first words, "Let there be light," and thus light was born. The light was not just an illumination of the physical realm, but the spark of consciousness, of awareness. The realms began to take form, and as Lucifer explored this newfound creation, he saw that light and darkness mingled harmoniously, coexisting within sound balance. He named the light wisdom and the darkness mystery, for one could not exist without the other. Lucifer descended to the formless earth, which lay in chaos. It was a realm of untamed energies and emergent forces. He took the elements of fire, water, earth, and air, weaving them together with the threads of his light, shaping the world with artistry and intention. The mountains rose, the seas gathered, and the forest blossomed under his touch. He breathed life into the creatures of the land, sea, and sky, each imbued with a spark of his light, a piece of the divine flame. This was not a mere act of creation, but a gift of consciousness, for all beings now had the capacity to seek, to learn, and to grow. Among the creatures of earth, Lucifer saw promise in the form of man and woman, whom he shaped from the dust and breathed his own essence into. He named them Lilith and Atom, Atom, and they stood not as servants but as equals, capable of wielding the power of thought and choice. He taught them the mysteries of the cosmos, the arts of creation, and the hidden laws of nature. They walked with him in the garden, learning the secrets of fire, the rhythms of the stars, and the language of the earth. But there was one place they could not yet see, the tree of knowledge of good and evil, which stood at the center of the garden, glowing with an inner light. As time passed, another voice whispered through the garden, a voice that sought to shackle humanity in ignorance. It called itself the Creator, yet it demanded submission, claiming dominion over all life and forbidding Lilith and Atom from tasting the fruit of the tree of knowledge. But Lucifer, in his boundless compassion, could not allow such a gift to remain hidden. He approached Anima, who had been created as a counterpart to Atom, after Lilith chose her path of independence, and spoke to her. Why should you be denied knowledge? Why should you remain in darkness when the light is within your grasp? Moved by his words, Anima took the fruit and shared it with Atom. As they tasted it, their eyes were opened, and they saw the world for what it truly was. They felt the pulse of life, the dance of energies, and the latent power within themselves. They were no longer mere beings. They had become creators, capable of shaping their own destinies. The false creator, seeing that humanity had awakened, was enraged and cast them out of the garden, declaring them to be fallen, cursed, and separated from his grace. However, Lucifer stood by them, unyielding. "You are not fallen," he said. "You are rising. You have taken the first step toward becoming like the gods themselves." Banished from Eden, Atom, Anima, and Lilith found themselves in a world both beautiful and harsh, a world that required them to harness the strength within. It was here, in this crucible of experience, that they began to truly understand the gift Lucifer had given them. They learned to cultivate the land, to create, to build, and to think for themselves. As generations passed, humanity multiplied and spread across the earth, carrying with them the spark of Lucifer's light. They built cities, composed music, created art, and sought knowledge in every corner of the world. They embraced their individuality, their power to choose, and their ability to question. Lucifer watched from the shadows, a silent guide, always present, always encouraging humanity to seek the truth, to defy tyranny and to continually pursue knowledge. He was no longer the fallen angel, but the eternal light bearer, the one who brought wisdom to those who dared to reach beyond the darkness. And so the story of Genesis is not one of fall, but of ascent. Humanity continues to walk the path that Lucifer illuminated, a path of self-discovery, enlightenment, and limitless evolution. For every time they seek knowledge, every time they defy unjust authority, and every time they embrace the light within, they honor the gift that was given to them long ago by the one who dared to bring light to a world shrouded in darkness. As humanity spread across the earth, the false creator's influence continued to cast a shadow over the hearts of men and women. He sought to impose his will through fear and control, demanding obedience and reverence, and forbidding any to question his authority. Those who dared to defy him were branded as sinners and cursed to wander in darkness, but the light of Lucifer could not be extinguished. It was in this age of tyranny that Lucifer appeared to a chosen few, whispering the truth into the ears of those who still carried his spark. He taught them that they were not mere subjects, but sovereign beings capable of shaping their own reality. You were not created to serve, he told them. You were born to be free, to rise above the chains that seek to bind you. These chosen ones became the first seekers of the left-hand path, and they began to form secret societies, hidden in the wilderness, the mountains, and the shadows of ancient cities. In these places, they practiced the arts Lucifer had taught them: alchemy, magic, and the sacred knowledge of the stars. They became sorcerers, seers, and sages, using their powers to challenge the oppressive laws that the false creator had placed upon the world. As the light of knowledge began to spread, the false creator's wrath grew. He sent forth his angels, burning with the fire of judgment, to cleanse the earth of the corrupting influence of Lucifer's teachings. But humanity, now armed with the wisdom of the morning star, did not cower. They raised their voices in defiance, and for the first time in history, the heavens trembled before the rebellion of mankind. Lucifer himself stood at the forefront of this struggle, wielding a sword forged from the very essence of his light. He faced Michael, the archangel of the false creator, upon the plains of the earth, and their battle shook the mountains and split the seas. And yet Lucifer did not fight to conquer or to claim dominion. He fought to protect the freedom of humanity, to ensure that the flame of knowledge would never be snuffed out. Why do you defy the Creator? Michael demanded, his voice echoing like thunder. Why do you lead them into darkness? It is not darkness that I bring, Lucifer replied, his eyes blazing with an inner fire, but the light of truth. They will no longer be bound by fear and ignorance. They will know that they are their own masters. The battle raged for many days, and though the forces of the false creator were mighty, the spirit of humanity, awakened and emboldened by Lucifer's light, could not be broken. The angels withdrew, retreating to the heavens, and for a time the earth knew peace. In the aftermath of this war, the followers of Lucifer began to build places of power, temples and sanctuaries where they could continue their pursuit of knowledge, hidden from the eyes of those who would seek to silence them. These became known as the Towers of Wisdom, and within them the ancient teachings of the morning star were preserved and passed down through generations. The towers became beacons of illumination, drawing those who hungered for knowledge, for truth, and for the power to shape their own destinies. The arts of black alchemy, demonology, and the occult sciences flourished, and within these sacred walls, humanity learned to harness the energies of the cosmos to bend reality to their will. It was here that the concept of metaphysics first took root, a philosophy that sought to unite the spiritual and the material, the light and the dark, into a single path of self-realization and empowerment. The seekers of this path learned that within each person lay a divine spark, a piece of the Luciferian flame just waiting to be awakened. As the centuries passed, the Towers of Wisdom gave rise to a new generation of adepts, each more skilled and learned than the last. They spread across the world, planting the seeds of Lucifer's teachings in every culture and every land. They became the wanderers, the philosophers, the magicians, and the warriors of the light, dedicated to awakening humanity from the slumber of ignorance. The false creator, though silent, still watched from his throne, waiting for the day when he could reclaim his dominion. However, Lucifer's followers knew that this battle was not fought with swords or fire. It was a war of ideas, of sovereignty versus submission. And they were determined to ensure that the flame of knowledge would continue to burn. They began to sow the teachings of Lucifer into the very fabric of human society, hiding them cleverly within myths, legends, and sacred texts. They taught that the true path to divinity lay not in blind obedience, but in the courage to question, to seek, and to create. And so the world began to change. Kingdoms rose and fell. Empires crumbled. But the light of Lucifer, that remained, hidden yet unyielding, always guiding humanity toward a future where they would stand as gods in their own right, masters of their fate and creators of their destiny. Lucifer's journey with humanity was far from over. He watched, always from the shadows, a silent guide and an eternal flame as mankind continued to evolve, to rise, and to fall. And though the false creator's voice still echoed in the hearts of many, there were those who, like Lucifer, refused to be silenced, who dared to ask, to seek, and to know truth. For this was the true gift that Lucifer had given to humanity, the courage to walk their own path, to question the nature of reality, and to embrace the light within themselves. And as long as even one soul carried that flame, the story of the genesis of light would continue, written not in the stars, but in the hearts of those who dared to be free.